Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his trick.
But how can I believe?
Ugh, I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy. Savior and protector of those in... It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugee.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the thing?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his...
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
He's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotti? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring.
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood. I am told it belonged to your mother.
Previously you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were...
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're
I'm fine. And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Esteve, happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the detail.
I'm afraid I don't have time for this now.
I hope that you will reconsider. If you do, I'll be here.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal child. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about my... I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never...
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the internet. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is your...
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for...
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around, too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the Cabinet of Curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that. Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her Cabinet of Curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not?
I remember
It
this
still
cozy
exists.
blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. Wonder why someone would do that. The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject. And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869. Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido. This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. The full-plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake. (1852), Bingley, West Yorkshire. Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted. Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
He opened the door to the postman, and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course. The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it? I think this is what we're looking for.
We made it. So what's there?
Single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favourite. gifted by Queen Victoria herself. Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met. Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research. I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. The books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them. I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter One, by Wallace Dioram.
Oh, Mycroft. You always act so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Sherry, look! We've got a parcel. An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.